Are you considering to buy a new construction home? Do you think that the market is too competitive right now for pre-owned homes? I'm going to share with you the pros and cons when buying a new construction home, as it may be a fit for many, but it may not be a fit for everybody. Take a look. So I've personally helped 8 clients buy a new construction home so far this year. So I know a lot, and I actually track where are all the new constructions happening. Take a look at my website here, and you'll see a direct link so you can get a feed. I try to update this every month as to what is going on with new construction in the Bay Area. So let's talk about the pros and cons as to what to expect when you're talking about a new construction home. What are the pros? Number 1, you get to choose amongst the different packages. There's usually 3 or 4 packages that most new construction builders will go with. And quite frankly, they're going to be some of the most common ones that you would choose anyways. For example, everybody loves laminate or hardwood engineered floors, and most of them are going to either be a light gray or a variation of a light brown color. When it comes to cabinets, everybody's looking at the same thing. It could be white, it could be black, it could be a little bit brown. If they like a darker color, there could be a beige color. So you're going to have a few options to choose from. But keep in mind, you may not get to choose which package is going to be for that specific home in a specific lot. So just be mindful of that. They may have already pre-selected things for you. And with this in mind, there's no need to really do any remodeling because they've already picked everything out for you. It makes it very simple. Number 2, it's energy efficient. I mean, a lot of the standards now, whether it comes to insulation, it could be dual pane windows, it could just be the way that things are built in terms of the current code. A lot of the energy costs should theoretically be a lot less. It's also a component of a lot of appliances are also some of the latest and greatest, which as you can imagine then, have higher energy standards as ones that were built decades ago. Number 3, home builder warranties and assurances. So some of the best parts of a new construction home is that home builders will cover the structural aspects of your home up to 10 years. Now, it does range depending on the specific parts of the home, and that's why you may see occasionally litigations that come up. This is because they do get sued if they don't follow the standards and what the individuals may expect. This also works for the same time for many appliances. Many appliances, whether the home builder will carry them or the vendor of the appliances will carry insurance, it's going to be case by case depending on the type of appliances you have. However, at the very least, you know for a fact that there's going to be between 1 to a 3-year warranty plan that is readily available. Number 4, there's no need to bid. Generally, sometimes when home builders are at the very end of their development cycle, as in there's only a few left, they may then have an offer process. But typically, it's a first come, first serve process. Now, you don't also have much wiggle room when it comes to the price itself. So it's more about anticipating and being able to be comfortable with what that cost will look like. So I'm saying if you like the layout, you like the lot, you like the finishes, you can simply put your name on the wait list and then put a deposit down to be able to secure the home. However, it is out of your control as to how long it takes for the builders to actually be able to complete the home. So be patient on that end. Number 5, many of these have very modern and open floor plans. You will see very common layouts where you have a kitchen, living room, dining room, all continuous. So it doesn't seem that common to have these compartmentalized walls anymore, as that was an old style basically back in the 80s and 90s. So if you like that style, you like that open concept, you're going to see a lot of homes that might fit this. At the same time, a lot of the layouts you now see, if it's a townhome, might be tri-level. So you'll have a bedroom on the downstairs floor. This is great for in-laws, great for guests. And you may start seeing some kitchenettes being built on the ground floor level too. So you're going to see a lot of these minor tweaks and changes, but you're going to see a very similar pattern moving forward because they continue to do well. Number 6, some areas will actually have some pretty nice amenities. So you have things like a possible pool, a clubhouse, maybe there's a gym. It's really case by case by the community itself. So you're going to want to explore and understand if you get those amenities, you will be paying a higher HOA or a monthly homeowners association, but you also have other things that may be part of the HOA, and you may be able to interact with a lot more neighbors. There may be some private playgrounds to play with, there may be some open grass. It will be case by case, but it's pretty cool to see these amenities continue to be used. New construction isn't all positive, so let's go over some of the cons. One of the cons that you'll start noticing is that you're not going to have much of a backyard, if any, anymore. Now, they do substitute these with maybe a balcony or potentially a patio, but for the most part, it doesn't make sense for the builder to give you a backyard. Most of the townhomes that have a backyard were basically back in the prior to the 80s, if not 90s, but now the townhomes will be pretty close to one another. It'll be pretty dense as well, so there's going to be limited guest parking. Number two, most of the homes are a lot more vertical integrated than they were before. It's not uncommon to see 3-story townhomes. If you're buying a single family, you might be looking at a 4-story single family home at the moment. So just be mindful of that, because they're able to get, a lot of the people that are buying new construction tends to be a younger demographic, and because they're still able to easily sell these homes, they're going to be cramming a lot more homes into tighter and tighter spaces. So don't be surprised to see that moving forward. Number three, about the cons. If you're going to choose upgrades and it's not part of a package, these are major profit centers for builders. I do renovations all the time for my clients, and I've given quotes, and I've seen quotes for my clients too. You will be paying a premium for the convenience. This is a big profit center for the builders. I've usually seen about a 1.5 to 2 times the cost when you're hiring your own contractor, if you were to hire your own contractor. Now there is a pro, of course. As I mentioned, they are selling the convenience. You don't have to manage another contractor. You'll have it done. You have the assurance. The labor itself may or may not be better, but at the end of the day, you'll be able to move in with it already in place. Something just to be factoring in, not all improvements make sense for you to do. You can also run it by me. I can give you my thoughts as well. What are the key upgrades you should be doing, and what is worth doing? Number 4, these new construction actually costs a whole lot more than older homes. We're talking about between a 5 to 10% increase, even versus homes that have sold for in the last 5 to 10 years. So be mindful of that, of the price per square foot. You will be paying a premium to get into this home. And townhomes and condos are not that competitive. So keep that in mind. It's fairly easy to get into those units, and they're going to look pretty nice because they're all built in the last 5 to 10 years anyways, if it was within the 5 to 10%. Next, just because it's new construction and there are rules that new construction builders need to follow, abide, they're not all good. If you want my personal take, reach out to me. I can't share this exactly on camera on some of the builders that I'm not very fond of for various different reasons, but I can also share with you some of the top builders. And you kind of get a sense. If you look on my YouTube channel, you'll see who are the builders that are more caring about the customers, but also more cooperative with realtors. Small point, they're the ones that allow me to even film the home itself, and they're not greedy. Now, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean those builders are a bad buy, but you got to be aware of it yourself. If a builder is willing to skimp out of not paying agents, and they're not willing to let realtors market the home for them, that shows you some signs itself. Next, the locations may be a little bit further out than you may think. If you think about the Bay Area, a lot of the prime locations in the Bay Area really don't have much room to grow. Think about it. Just look on a map yourself. Most of the large development projects tend to be either where there's industrial space, or there are places where, like in Dublin, Pleasanton, where there's a lot of land. However, now you're going to be seeing a lot more developments happening in El Camino Real, which some people may not be okay with the busy street noise. Think about it. It's going to be a very high traffic area, so not everyone wants to live there. It may be very convenient next to a Caltrain station. However, you're going to have a lot of noise, and you may have a lot of pollution in that location. Next, there are potentially higher property taxes for these areas, and this is formerly known as either Mello-Roos, or they may have some other label for it. They don't usually disclose this up front, and if they don't, you should ask them this anyways, just so you know, because this becomes very material. For example, take a look at a lot of the properties in Dublin and Livermore. They're doing a lot of expansions, and it's going to be great because it's going to have a lot more schools and different of these projects. However, the downside is you're going to be the one that's paying and funding for these projects. Take a look at the property tax. If you actually add it up, generally the Bay Area property taxes are about 1.25%. But if you look at there, it's usually about 1.75%. So you're basically paying 0.5% more a year in property taxes towards these other types of developments that you may not use, especially if you plan to sell in the next couple of years. So be mindful of that when you buy these homes. There may be some other hidden costs that might be applicable for it. And if you think about it, if you're buying $1 million home there, that's about $5,000 extra you're paying a year on property tax. Another thing to be aware of, not necessarily a con, but don't be tricked as to looking at a model home and thinking your home is going to actually look exactly like that. All the model homes are always decked out with upgrades, but even upgrades that you might not be able to even purchase. So you may have different things against the wall. So I've seen a lot of patterns against the wall. There could be different cabinets that are actually built in that are not going to be part of it, that it may look nice, but it's not going to be actually what it will be. So if you see a model home itself, be sure to confirm what exactly is staying so you don't get surprised by a few $1,000 cost that needs to be done afterwards. Either way, I hope you found this video helpful of the pros and cons of buying a new construction home. However, either way, you should hire a real estate agent. The builders pay for the real estate agent commission, and if you're going to go on your own, you're going to be represented by the seller side, and we both know the seller is in it for themselves. There is no benefit of you going on your own, and so you're not going to get a better deal, you're not going to get a priority, there is nothing that's better. Ultimately, the builders already have factored all these costs in when it comes to their marketing plan because they know they want to still bring agents for them to then bring in the business. Now, in terms of how much of a commission I make, it's all dictated by the builder. Some builders, like I said, I'm not going to name names now, they don't even pay an agent anymore. So it's absolutely ridiculous. At the other times, they may be paying 2.5%, they may be paying less. It is all case by case. And at the end of the day, my job is to give you the pros and cons of the area, whether you like it or not, so you know where you're getting yourself into. The builder is certainly not going to be telling you that, so keep that in mind. And if new construction is going to work for you, then let's do it. I'm happy to help you every step of the way. If this was how you found me and new construction may not work out for you, it's all good. The reality is plenty of people buy pre-owned homes all the time, and so we can ultimately look for something that might be a little bit newer. Because as you can imagine, with a lot of these new construction homes, people may want to live in it for a few years, and then they'll trade up for a single family home, where in that case, as you can imagine, there's not that much new construction for. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions about new construction or pre-owned homes, I can help you in any property in the Bay Area. Reach out as my contact details are below or text me at any time. Phone number is 408-223-5493. I look forward to working with you.